Welcome to Shiny New Clients, the marketing podcast that helps you attract shiny new clients to your business. We talk about social media marketing. I'll give you actionable strategies to get more clients today and the mindset that it takes to grow a business, all in 25 minutes or less. Whether you're an online business owner or have an in-person service or even a course or membership, if you've got a service-based business, this is the show you need to fill your calendar. I'm Jenna Harding, your new marketing coach, and this is Shiny New Clients. When I first started my business, I would try anything. If you told me a peanut butter and jam sandwich would grow my audience, I would make you a peanut butter and jam sandwich, including teaching workshops in the basement of the bar that I worked at, teaching people social media. I'd try it. I put a paper list on a stool at the back of the room with a pen and said, put your name and email here, and you can be on my email list, pretending I had one. I did not, in fact, have one, but you have to start somewhere. So even if you are just starting your email list, today's episode is for you. Even if you just have 5 names on that list, that is a list. And we're going to treat it like it is 5,000 names. People are so hard on themselves. You know what else I want you to know? I want you to know that a lot of the huge names that you respect in online business don't actually even have massive lists with thousands and thousands and thousands of people like you think they do. They're just really strategic and they're really good at selling to the audience that they do have. So, as always, if I'm not the expert in something, I bring you the expert. Today, I've brought in an email funnel strategist. Her name is Allison Hardy, not to be confused with Jenna Harding, my new last name, just taking the opportunity to pepper that in. This morning, we have Allison Hardy. She's an email funnel strategist. She's going to tell us the 7 emails you need to sell anything through email. I am so excited about this. Good morning, Allison.
Good morning, Jenna. I'm so excited to be here.
Can you give us a brief backstory on how you got so good at this?
Yeah, it was COVID. When COVID happened, here in the US, I live right outside of DC. Like everything shut down for 18 months. My husband was a chaplain. He started his job in January and then COVID hit in March. So he delightfully got reassigned to the COVID ICU and would basically help people say goodbye to their loved ones through iPads all day long. So he was completely toasted when he would come home and was basically not fully functional for a good chunk of time. My kids at the time were 2 and 6 and everything shut down for them. So no care at all. I couldn't call anybody, nothing. So I really needed to regroup really fast because life was coming at me really hard. And I still needed to make money. We're not in the position where I can't not make money. So I needed to sell, and I needed to sell in a way that actually was life proof. So that's where email funnels came in. And then I got super obsessed because I have a bit of a obsessive personality. I got super obsessed with buyer psychology and buyer types. And so I landed on these 7 emails through understanding the 7 different buyer types that I came up with.
Oh yeah. So different types of people, different types of, I do a lot of research before I buy. Is that what you mean? Everybody kind of buys in a different way?
Yes. So if you do a lot of research, you're the details buyer. Yeah. So everybody buys in a very different way. I personally don't need a lot of information. If I'm in your world, I've already learned about you, already know about you. So when you pitch me, the email that you're going to send me doesn't need to be super long. It just needs to tell me what's the offer and how long do I have to make my decision. And then I usually buy because again, I don't need the information, but yeah, everyone buys in different ways. So specific buyer types all have the same sort of limiting belief or similar objections.
You know what's crazy about COVID?
Yeah.
Is it's in my head, everything. Yeah. It sounds like you had a whirlwind of an experience. In my head, I'm like, oh yeah. So you've been doing this, what, 18 months? No, 6 years. You've been doing this 6 years.
Yeah. I had my business beforehand, but the email component of things really became what I do and what I've done since COVID. Yeah.
All right. So I love that you're here and you're like ready to be so generous with your knowledge. And like this is such a specific thing of like write these 7 emails, and everyone's grabbing a pen right now and we're like, okay, sure. So when are we sending them? Who are we sending them to? How do we know if it's time to be selling to people instead of just like nurturing them and warming up the list?
Yeah. So these emails fire after you have either sent them through a nurture sequence or done some sort of like event, like a video series or a challenge or a webinar. After they have consumed kind of like a launch event from you, that's when these emails fire.
All right. So if we're in a say we're a physiotherapist and we're not in online business wherein we're like launching, could we
Ooh.
send these after we do a big promo? Like if we're doing a BOGO or sell, get all your, book your massage before your insurance runs out December promo, like that sort of a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. If you have something to sell or you have a promo that you're running, you can absolutely send these emails.
Okay, perfect. That's what we do in booked out offers, which is my like more advanced program. I basically co-opt all my launch strategies and give it to them as service providers so they can like run more intense promos. So this is like exactly the type of thing that they need.
Love it.
Tell me, which of the 7 archetypes are you, and tell me about it.
Yeah, I am a no frills buyer. So again, I don't need a lot of information from you because I've probably already done my research on you. So I'm on your list with the intention of buying the thing from you. So when you send me like that very first email, I just need to know like where's the link? Where can I click? How long do I have to make my decision? And I usually buy off of that very first email because again, I've already been sold prior to getting there. So that email does not have to be fancy. It does not have to have super marketing language. You just need to be like, here's what this program is. Here's who it's for. Here's the offer. You have this amount of time. Here's the link. And super simple.
That sounds insane to me because I'm like so far down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I'm like how could you buy with such little information? Like 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 it doesn't
Yeah.
make, okay, so what type of buyer is your husband?
Oh, that's a great question. My husband is so he's an Enneagram 4, so he's like the romantic, the idealist. So I would argue he's probably like a transformational buyer. So he is pain point aware. He knows he's like, yes, I have that pain point, but he is not motivated by solving the pain point. He is motivated by solving what's possible through he's motivated by what's possible through solving the pain point. So he's very much so focused on like the outcomes, the transformations, the more like bigger picture life stuff. But for him, in your email, you need to still anchor it. So you need to still have like, you're going to do this so that you can achieve this. So they still need to know somewhat the work that they're going to have to do in order to achieve it. Because the minute they're like overwhelmed, they're like, oh my gosh, this is too much. They're like not going to do the work. They'll be in the program, but that email needs to state clearly that like, you're going to do this so that you can achieve this.
So it's okay if some emails, even though they're going to him, don't speak to his buying type, because when he gets this one, that's when he'll
Yeah.
take action.
Yeah, and what I teach in my membership is there is a specific order, and it's because certain people need certain things at certain times. So, like me, the no frills buyer, email number one, because again, I'm not looking for all the other stuff. For you, being a details buyer, you're going to fire email number two. Email number two is the details buyer because you've already given them like the nuts and the bolts, like not the nuts and bolts, but like the very simplistic version. And you, when reading that email, you're like, that sounds great, but then that second email fires and gives you all the details that you need.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And so the transformational buyer, my husband, that's the very last email because they tend to be procrastinators. They tend to need to know all the stuff before they buy. And it finally like hits on their exact, like, this is why you buy, their exact buyer type.
So I'm trying to set you up to ask a question, but I really can't even think of what the other ones are. Like
Yeah.
I think all my emails are just those three.
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
sometimes
So
do like a I'll sometimes do one that tells a story about somebody, or like tells a
for
story
sure.
like a case study. Is that one of them?
Yes. So that's the person that needs to see themselves as your client. So the skeptical buyer. So they've probably been burned in the past. They've probably tried to solve it, and whatever method they were taught or whatever they did didn't work. So they have a history of failure. So what you need to do is come in on that email and be like, hey, I know this has happened. I know you've probably tried to solve it. You need to acknowledge, but then be like, here's why this is different. And you need to share not your like best testimonial, not the one that's like, this person had $100,000 in sales in 93 days. Like, no, that's only going to like build the wall higher for them. You need to share like a normal testimonial, run of the mill. If you do this work, this is probably what you'll experience, not like the best hit it out of the park testimonial in there. So
Oh
yeah,
my gosh. Okay, that's so validating to hear you say because like I am the type of person who wants to hear the highest success story and I'll like
same.
place myself with them. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And I was using those from my program and it was scaring people off.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Like
Because
people
also if they're like in that pain point, right? Telling them that they're going to achieve this crazy result, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, and if they don't, but like I'm always telling my clients, one of the biggest things that stops people from buying has nothing to do with you. It's that they don't believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And so we create a lot of content around like helping people believe in themselves. Plus, it feels good for us and
Right.
for them, right? So if they don't believe in themselves and you're like, go make $1 million, they're like, can you just help me post 3 times a week?
Yeah. 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 Or if they're like really struggling and you're sharing those bigger testimonials, they're going to be like, no, I can't do that. Like that self-belief is going to go down. Like that's like, I've tried all the things. I've tried to do that before and it hasn't worked. So like that they're disconnected from that.
Yeah. And I never included skeptical person emails before.
Mhm.
But this launch, I have some scheduled because people are telling me that they've bought like 5 Instagram courses. And so I can quickly tell you why mine will be different, but I need to tell them.
Yeah.
Like people are like 6 years ago, people hadn't bought an Instagram course yet. It wasn't something that I was faced with, but now they've got like all these like hooks, libraries and things like, all these different like prompts that they're still not using sitting there. And so now that's like something probably would have been great if I started this last year, but that's something that's new for me is speaking to that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I want to guess the next one. Okay, so what if somebody is what if somebody doesn't know what the solution is, but they are really highly aware of their problem?
Yeah. So they're the pain point buyer.
Okay,
So
perfect. I did it. I did it.
you did it. You did it. So that fires before the aspirational buyer, my husband, right? So this is the second to the last email in your sequence. The pain point buyer. Now, I don't know when you started your business, but when I started my business is 2015. And we were taught to like stab our listeners, our consumers with the pain point knife and then turn it and make them really feel their pain. Like we don't do that anymore. That was old school marketing. Um, the pain point buyer knows they have the pain point. Like they're like, yes, I want to solve this. They understand it. They're like, yes, I am motivated by solving it. They're not motivated by the outcomes of solving it. They're just motivated by the actual solving of the pain point. So saying things like, hey, I know this is annoying. Hey, I know you've tried to solve this. Hey, I know that if you could have done this already, you would have done it. Like things like that just helps them to understand like, hey, she actually does get this. She understands me. She understands the pain point. And yeah, I think that this program might help me. So it's like a calling out of the pain point. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs like don't enjoy writing this email because they don't want to feel like they're like poking at someone's pain point. But for this person, they need you to acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What's the downside of mixing these all up and kind of putting a little bit of each into every email?
I actually would encourage you to put only one buyer type in each email because if we're sending out 7 emails, like they're not going to open every single email, and that's okay. That's part of email marketing. But if the subject lines are kind of on point with the buyer type, those subject lines are going to speak more to that person. So they're more likely the buyer types, even though they don't know they don't know what type of buyer type they are, they know what they're motivated by. So if the subject lines are reflective of the buyer types, they will open ideally the one that is right for them. So they might, for like the aspirational buyer, that person at the very end, they might open up a couple of the earlier ones. And for whatever reason, they appealed to them at the time. They may not buy off of them. They may need that last email, that very last like aspirational email in order to buy from. So it's not a problem that they read the other emails before they got their specific email for their buyer type.
Yeah. Kind of like I was just on your podcast and I was talking about how testimonials and how when my client saw one testimonial that spoke to her, I saw this worked for another acting coach. So I knew it would work for me because I'm an acting coach. Like she
Absolutely.
still consumed everything else, the emails, the posts, the webinar, all of it. But that one thing was what made her. And how lucky we are when we actually find out what made somebody buy. We often, we won't ever know.
Yes. Yeah. And you can weave testimonials throughout, these sequences or these emails. You don't necessarily have to wait for that like skeptical email where the testimonial is like very heavy in that email. So if you have, an aspirational buyer that bought from you and you have the aspiration email and this thing makes sense, heck yeah, put it in there. It only helps to emphasize what it is that you're trying to say.
Yeah. All right. We have no frills, details, transformational, skeptical, and pain point buyer. Tell us the last two, but no details about it. The rest is all inside the membership, and we're out of time.
We have the engagement buyer and we have the relational buyer.
No, okay, wait. Just give us a couple sentences. I need to know.
The relational buyer, my best friend is a relational buyer, and I am so not. The relational buyer wants to know more about you, not because they're looking to be like same, same. They just literally want to know more about you and why you do what you do.
Oh my gosh, that's so smart. And then what's the
Right?
engagement one?
The engagement is the person that has a random question that needs permission to ask it.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, we like to put in our PSs like PS, just hit reply, just hit reply, just hit reply. Ask us whatever you want. We're on the other end of this thing.
Yeah, but I would encourage you to put that in just an email, like super, like one-liner email.
Okay. I'll do it. I'll do whatever you say.
Let me know what you get from it.
So, Allison, if people want to learn more about you or more about how to actually make these 7 emails happen, where do they find you?
Yeah. So my website's AllisonHardy.com. And then the relational buyer, that fifth email, I actually have it templated for you. It brought in $80,000 in sales for my business last year. So I call it the $80,000 email template. And you can find it at AllisonHardy.com/80000 email.
That's how I found you, I think. It was in
Good stuff.
a bundle with that email. It's such a good freebie and such a good title and story and everything.
I love it. Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here, Allison. Have a good one.
Thank you, Jenna.